A video has been circulated in Telegram app, showing Russian soldiers refuse being sent to the front line. The soldiers had been forcibly held in a tent city in Ekaterinburg, Astra Telegram channel reported. The footage shows soldiers shouting and swearing at the military police. One of the soldiers suggests cutting veins and demands that an ambulance be called. More than 100 Russian soldiers who refused to fight were forcibly transferred to Ekaterinburg city, where they would be forcefully put on a plane bound to border Rostov to be sent to Ukraine, Astra reported. The soldiers revolted and refused to comply by the order. These soldiers were under investigation for desertion. Among them are wounded and sick servicemen.
Скрывать нахуй вены, да и все, и пусть отправляют нахуй. Лагерь никто не останется. Это не наш лагерь, не ваш лагерь, это не чей-то. Вы здесь не можете по факту просто остаться. Называйте школу, вы сейчас говорите, военный городок в дороге. Почему вот здесь к самолету, блядь? Здесь какой-то лагерь не везут, это не наши собственные. Пусть нас везут, осудят уже. Я говорю, к самолету, там разбор уже. Все, ебать, не здесь, на лагере. Там нету разбора, там одна дорога в один конец. Там вы стоите, блядь, вот.
The Ukrainian Armed Forces Command is increasingly sending F-16 aircraft on more dangerous missions than in 2024. Ukrainian F-16s have left their comfort zone of only intercepting missiles and kamikaze drones and are now increasingly appearing along the front lines, Forbes reports. Footage of F-16s flying over eastern Ukraine is increasingly common online. Some of the planes are armed with infrared-guided AIM-9 missiles and radar-guided AIM-120 missiles. Some are equipped with 8 small-diameter bombs and an AN/ALQ-131 electronic warfare pod, as well as 4 air-to-air missiles. Such missiles make it possible to hit enemy targets both on the ground and in the air. They act as flying air defenses with advanced missile warning technology, the conflict intelligence team said. The AN/ALQ-131 electronic warfare unit is a new and critically important capability for the Ukrainian armed forces. The F-16s that Kiev receives from its allies in Europe are much better equipped than Soviet fighters like the Sukhoi or MiG. The aircraft also have a PIDS system that ejects metal reflectors and flares to deceive radar and infrared-guided missiles. However, even all these new systems do not make the F-16 invulnerable. The American pilot stated that the AN/ALQ-131 block will give you only a moment's head start in achieving your target. However, this self-defense ability may not last. The 85 F-16s Ukraine is getting from Denmark, the Netherlands, Norway and Belgium are much better equipped than the country's pre-war force of ex-Soviet MiG and Sukhoi fighters. In addition to the AN/ALQ-131 jamming pods, which were initially programmed by a team of US Air Force specialists, the F-16s have the option of carrying Pylon Integrated Dispensing System and the Electronic Combat Integrated Pylon Systems, PIDS, and ESIPs. PIDS eject metal, chaff and hot burning flares to spoof incoming radar and infrared-guided anti-aircraft missiles. ESIPs houses passive defenses to complement the active chaff and flares, including the AN/ALQ-162 jammer for defeating radars on the ground, as well as an AN/AAR-60 missile warning system for triggering the passive defenses. All these protective systems do not make F-16s invulnerable. The Ukrainian Air Force has already lost one F-16 out of the roughly 16 it has so far received from Denmark and the Netherlands. The jet crashed under mysterious circumstances during an air defense patrol back in August, killing its famous pilot Oleksiy Moonfish Mez.
Russian troops have been bogged down near Pokrovsk in Donetsk Oblast, Viktor Trihobov, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Kortitsia group of forces, told Radio Free Europe/Radio Liberty. The spokesperson stated that the Russian army's offensive from the south, along with their attempt to bypass the city from the west, is failing. There is a noticeable trend of exhaustion among the Russians. I'm not suggesting that Ukrainians have some kind of second, third, or 100th wind. But the Russians have certainly begun to show signs of physical, moral, and material exhaustion. It's clear and noticeable, Trehabov remarked. According to the spokesman, the situation may be attributed to the effective actions of Ukrainian UAV units, which have successfully established a strong defense. At the same time, Trehabov noted that in other areas, Russian troops appear to have more energy than in Pokrovsk. However, with the beginning of the negotiation process between Russia and the United States, there has been a noticeable decline in the motivation of Russian soldiers to fight within the area of responsibility of the Khortytsia grouping. The embattled town of Pokrovsk in Donetsk Oblast is among the most hotly contested areas of the front. Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrsky previously claimed that 7,000 Russian soldiers were killed near Pokrovsk in January alone. The Pokrovsk city military administration called on the population not to succumb to the manipulations of the city's mayor, Ruslan Trebushkin, called on the president of Ukraine to conclude peace with Russia and let people live. Trebushkin addressed in Russian not Russian President Putin, but Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, calling for peace and letting people live. Vladimir Alexandrovich, the residents of the Pokrovsk community want peace. The majority of Ukrainians want peace. People do not want to fight, they are tired. The same military who are on the front line, who have not been replaced for a long time, people want to go home. They want you to give them peace. Mr. President, we believe in you. Make peace and let people live, Trebushkin said. We urge the community residents not to succumb to manipulations. The fate of our community and the entire country depends on the resilience, unity, and support of the armed forces of Ukraine, the military administration said in response to Trebushkin's message. Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelensky lied to US President Donald Trump that Kiev was left alone in 2022. This was stated by the official representative of the Russian Foreign Ministry Maria Zakharova on her Telegram channel. Zelensky's biggest lie of all his lies is the statement in the White House that the Kiev regime in 2022 was left alone, without support, she noted, commenting on the spat between the presidents of the United States and Ukraine. Zakharova emphasized that Trump and U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance showed miracles of restraint to not give Zelensky a hard time. Maria Zakharova told that Volodymyr Zelensky's words to U.S. President Donald Trump that the United States will still face problems refer to Kiev's terrorist acts. The U.S. President and Vice President put him in his place, but the issue is different. We are talking about the Kiev regime's open threat to the United States. And the world minority did not hear this and did not want to hear that this regime has already become a terrorist regime, Zakharova said. The central topic of the spat between Trump and Zelensky was the prospects for a peaceful resolution to the conflict in Ukraine. The head of the White House accused the Ukrainian president of an irresponsible approach, saying that his actions put the lives of millions of people at risk and also threaten escalation to the level of World War III.